Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Host Coaching. Today is Wednesday, December 11th, and we're going to talk about some simple systems that work for whether you're in person or virtual to really help make sure that we get the most out of every party and we're doing the best possible job for each one of our hosts. So first, I'm just curious, does anybody here do in-person parties, or is everybody here virtual?
I've done both.
Okay, awesome. Julie, what about you?
Virtual only.
Virtual only, okay. And I'm not sure who's on the phone. Who's got the 717 phone? So who's on the phone with an area code 717? Okay, you're unmuted, so I'm not sure if you're talking or not, but we can't hear you. So, and
Okay.
Shayna, I'm
Can
sorry.
you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Hi there. Who is this?
Hi, this is Abby.
Hi,
I
Abby.
do virtual and cooking shows, but I'm gonna stay muted for most of the time. My 1-year-old is awake, and he doesn't have manners.
Been there. It's all good.
But I am here.
Okay, and you said, did you primarily virtual?
I've been doing cooking shows too. I've had
Oh.
2 cooking shows.
Okay, awesome. Excellent. And Shayna, I see you. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I see that you're here, but we can't see you. So if you look for your video icon, there's probably a red line through it. Just click on that, and that will bring your video up. There you are. Hi there. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So do you do virtual? Do you do in-person? Are you a mix? What are you doing?
Right now I'm just doing virtuals.
Awesome. Okay. So I'll just tell you just really quickly, a little bit about who I am and why I'm here to help everybody. I've been with Pampered Chef for over 16 years. And when I first started, I literally did like a party every other month. It was just something, my kids were little, it was just to get me the hell out of the house. I'm not going to lie. Okay. So I stay because it's been an amazing experience, fantastic money, fantastic people, fantastic perks. But honestly, the best part about it is the people and the amount that I've learned and how much people share. So when I started, everything was in person. That's what we did. And at this point, I am now about 85% virtual. I still do, typically I do 4 virtuals a week and 1 in person a week. So I can absolutely help you out with both. And we're going to talk about host coaching tonight. And honestly, there's not a ton of difference between the two. Some wording is different, but the overall goal is exactly the same with both. So let me ask you all, how do you each feel about your host coaching right now? And this is a safe place. It's just us. So do you feel like, you're really not where you want to be? You feel like you're doing okay? Do you feel like, okay, I've got this part down? Where is everybody right now with host coaching?
I'm kind of so-so with it.
Okay.
I think I do pretty well, except that they don't seem to be very receptive. I have a harder time with hosts actually listening to what I have to say and implementing it.
Okay. And Shayna, if you're able to share, and Abby, if you're able to share, how are you feeling about your host coaching? Okay, I can't hear either one of you right now. So, okay, there you are, Shayna, go ahead.
I do host coaching, but like the other lady said, I don't get much of a response.
Okay. So let me ask you all of this. Do you know why we host coach?
Well, isn't it to get them more involved so that if their guests see them involved and see them participating, then it just brings up their participation and you have more sales in the end.
Yeah, honestly, what it is, it's teaching them how to have a good party. That's what it boils down to, because nobody books a party to say, oh God, I hope this sucks. You know what I mean? Like, people book a party because they want to have fun, they want to get free products, they want to get the discount, they want it to be a good time for their friends. So we host coach to teach them how to do that. And it doesn't matter if you signed up 5 years ago or yesterday, you are the expert. Because you have access to all of us directors and you have access to some fantastic training. So even if literally you signed up yesterday, You are still going to be the expert, and we're going to help you make sure that you cover all the bases. So the reason we host coach is to make sure that our hosts have the best party possible, the most fun, the most engagement, the biggest rewards, and they are psyched and thrilled they do it afterwards. So that's why we do it. How we do it is a little bit different. So some of you had said you're having a hard time with your host kind of really latching on and kind of working with it. So let me ask you this. How do you start off the host coaching? What is like the first kind of conversation you have with your hosts?
I go back to the file that's on the Reach for Stars page. That
Okay,
gives you tips on host coaching.
awesome. And how is that working so far?
It's actually hit or miss, 50-50. A lot of my hosts have been really good, and it is shown in their party sales. But you can tell the ones that just kind of ignore my messages, and then they're like, well, why did my party do good? I'm like, well, you didn't even comment in your party. Like, your guests commented more than you.
Right? So
In my head, and I'm like, well, I can't say that. That's not professional.
no, I know, but we all feel it's like because you weren't listening, person. That's why. But so one thing I can tell you that really helps is at the very beginning, ask them why they're having the party. Okay, we all assume it's because they want free products, and I'm sure that's going to be part of it, but find out why are they having the party. And that can be something as simple as, you know, hey, Nicole, I'm so psyched for the party. We're going to have a lot of fun. Tell me why you decided to have a party. Because once we know why, then we can really help them. Okay, so if they're all about the blender, we know that's what they're working for. If they just don't know what to cook for dinner and they really need recipes, we know that's what we need to focus on. And we want to make sure that we know why they're doing the party, and that way we know how to help them. Now, of course, everybody wants to get free products, so we want to start with the why, okay? And whether or not it's, you know, getting the free products or learning how to do things, ultimately, we do want to make sure they're getting free products. So let's say you reach out and say, I'm really excited for your party. We're going to have a blast. Tell me why you decided to have a party. And they said, because I really want that deluxe cooking blender. So you can respond with something as simple as, oh my God, you are going to absolutely love that. How would you like to get it for free? They're all going to say yes. And that's when we can start really explaining to them what we're going to teach them and why. So when we tell them how many people to invite and all these different things, it's human nature. We want to know why. So if I'm telling you to host coach, you're going to want to know why, right? That's why we started with that. It's human nature to understand, to want to understand why we're doing anything. Find out what the host is most excited about. Find out what's on their wish list and say, oh my God, you're going to love it. How would you like to get that for free? And when they say, well, sure, say, great. Follow my lead. I'm going to walk you through step by step. And if you do everything that I show you, I can all but promise you, you're going to get that for free. If not, you're going to get that at least at half price, if not for free. How does that sound? And asking the question is huge because that is them giving you buy-in. That's them agreeing to work with us, and that's them agreeing to be open to listening to what we have to share with them. And one thing I always tell people is my job is to make sure you and your friends have a blast and you have a huge shopping spree at the end. So we always want to approach anything we do with our business with a servant mindset. We are here to help the host. We are here to help the guest. We are here to make it the best possible party ever. And when they know that we're on their side and we know why they're doing it, and we have told them we're going to help them get it at half price, if not for free, that very beginning conversation sets the foundation for everything else, and it makes everything else go a lot more smoothly, okay? So it's the first thing to really focus on is make sure you're having that first conversation. And if you're 100% virtual, still try to get them on the phone, okay? Because that's when you become a real person. And that's when you can really start that relationship. And I'm not going to lie, there are definitely some virtual parties where it's literally 100% through Messenger and I have never spoken with them. It's still better if we can have a conversation, because then you're real, they're real, and you have that kind of teamwork set from the beginning. Okay? So we know why we do it. We know how to start it off. And then what we say and how we lay it out is actually fairly simple. We are always going to coach to $1,000 party at least. So I'm curious, when you guys are talking to your hosts, how many of you, or do you ever talk about like a certain level of sales? I'm curious, kind of what do you all say?
Do you want me to say what I say?
In a second, absolutely.
This is a big one.
Everybody else, like, does anybody talk about a certain like sales level with your hosts? And again, you're in a safe place, so just tell
No.
me what you're doing so we know where everybody is.
No, I really haven't. I think, I mean, I started back in the end of March, and it still feels very new, and like you're very unsure of, what exactly to do. A lot of people don't want to talk to you on the phone. But when I started the new system that they started up now with all the dash and isn't here.
Mhm.
So I was like flying blind. And I also work a full-time 40+ hour job during the week. So I'm like constantly just trying to fit it all in, because I want this to actually take over from my full-time job eventually.
Yeah.
So that I can back that off to part-time and do this full-time.
Yeah.
But getting to that point is the difficult part, trying to learn it all as you're going. So
Yeah. I can completely
I
relate.
know I could be better.
So one thing to keep in mind is, regardless of where we are in our business, be really careful about what we're saying to ourselves. So if we're saying things like, you know what, I kind of suck at this. Anytime you go to work on that part of your business, your brain is going to be telling you, you suck at this. And you are sabotaging yourself. I've done it. It took me a long time to unlearn it, and I still catch myself. So if you're feeling like, you know what, I want to do this, but, blah, 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 stop yourself and be like, and you just need to reframe it. Be like, I'm excited to do this, and I'm getting better at host coaching. And I cannot overemphasize how important that is. Everybody's here to see the Olympics. Everybody's watched the gymnasts, right? And you all see them before they actually go and do the routine. They're standing in the corner, and you can see them going through the routine in their head. Because what happens in here is what happens when we actually start working. So make sure that we are always talking to ourselves the way we would talk to our best friend. Okay? So that being said, yeah, it can be a lot. So take a deep breath and be like, okay, I'm going to do one thing right now. And the one thing I'm going to focus on right now is making sure that I know why my host is having the party and to get them excited about doing a $1,000 party. And I'm willing to bet, because I used to do the exact same thing, that if you're not talking about a $1,000 party, it's because you're not sure that you know how to do it. Maybe you've never had a host with a $1,000 party. You don't really believe it can happen with your hosts. So chuck that out the window, because we're going to walk you through it, because people have $1,000 parties every single day, and they're not special. They're not better than you. It's just knowing what to say. Okay. So always, always, always talk to your host about a $1,000 party. They're not all going to get there. Some of them will. Some of them will be 12, 13, 14 and higher. And even those who don't get to 1,000, maybe they get to 700 or 800. Would you guys be psyched with a $700 or $800 party? That's why we need to talk to them. It's no different than like getting in the car and be like, let's go on vacation. Where are we going? I don't know. Let's head that way. Doesn't work. We need to have an end goal. We need to have a point that we're aiming for in everything. So give your host that. Okay. Now, the specifics of host coaching. We talked about we need to find out why, and we need to talk about $1,000 party, and we need to get them to agree to be open to listening to the tips that we have to say, okay? And then if you're doing virtual, and I'm going to share the outline, the host coaching outline that I use for virtual, and it's a combination of things from Steven Drapalski and Claudia Bazar and a few other people, but I found it works very well. Very, very, very important. And actually for virtual or in person, it doesn't matter. It's making sure the host is inviting enough people. So again, truth, you're in a safe place. Who talks about how many people the host should be inviting?
All the time.
Okay, what number do you tell them, Julie? I'm curious. What do you say for like
I
a
tell them over 300.
Okay.
I tell them to invite their whole friends list from Facebook, because they never know who's going to be interested, who's going to buy, and the person that they think is going to buy the most may not buy a thing, and the person they think won't even show up will buy the most.
Yeah.
And then I tell them it's a numbers game, so you want to invite everybody. And what I've found with all my numbers is even if we invite 300, we still only have 7 to 10 show up and participate and maybe order. So I have had a $1,300 party, and I've had a $50 party, and I had a 0. And the one that I just finished, and that's a thing too that I find is hard, is getting them to respond. Sometimes they get busy and decide that they don't need to talk to you about anything. And you're pulling teeth trying to get them to even respond to you. Right. I had sent 15 messages, and her response was the letter K. K.
Yep.
K. And I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like, I'm going to kill you. Yeah.
Forget it. I'm going to submit it and put them all in as individuals and forget it. I was just so frustrated. And she closed. It was supposed to close last Friday. I just closed her at 6:00 today. Okay.
So a lot of that we can prevent by having those initial conversations. Why did why I'm so excited for your party. Tell me why you decided to have one. And then once we know why, and if they're talking about, I just really need recipes, say, I can totally help you with that. What product have you seen that you think would really help you the most? Whatever they say, we still want to find out what product they're excited about, because ultimately we do want to be able to tie this into their host rewards for them. So if they're like, I just want to have some fun, say, great. What product have you looked at that you would love to have just because it looks like a fun thing to have? It doesn't matter. Just find out what they want to have. And then we say, oh my God, I love that product. You're going to love it. Would you like to get it for half price or maybe even free? And they say yes. They say, okay, I can help you do that. Will you let me show you how? And when they say yes, because no one's going to say no, when they say yes, say, great, I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to keep them really simple, but we're going to make sure that we work as a team and we get you the blender at half price, if not for free. So if we have those conversations at the beginning, it prevents a lot of that. Again, we're talking about human beings. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to lie to you. You're still going to have people once in a while who blow you off. But when we do this as a regular thing, the majority of your parties and the majority of your hosts are going to go better. Okay. So you had said you invite the entire guest list. I'll tell you personally, I don't recommend that. I recommend about 150 for the reason that when people see 700 people have been invited, then a lot of them will be like, well, they don't really care if I join or not because there's 699 other people they invited. Now, everybody's going to be a little bit different. Nicole, what do you tell people? How many do you tell them to invite?
150, and if they want to do more, I tell them to invite a few more than that if they would like. It's entirely up to them, but I tell them, please do not invite anything less than 150 because we want to see 40 to 50 people click join.
Yeah. So 150 is, right around there tends to be the sweet spot, because when people see they've been invited to things, a lot of people are going to be like, okay, well, who else has been invited? So 150 tends to be kind of a sweet spot where they know they invited a lot of people, but it wasn't just a blank invitation to everybody they know. So I would suggest trying 150. The next step with that, okay, so if it's an in-person party, how many are you telling to invite for an in-person party?
I don't know if anybody on here does in-person parties.
Well, I know a couple of people that said they're doing some. That's why I asked in the beginning. So for an in-person
don't-
party, go ahead, Shina. Yeah.
I don't personally do in-home parties, but I would guess probably about 25.
So actually, for an in-person party, we want to be inviting about 45. So what it works out to for an in-person party is about a third of the people invited come that night or that day or whatever it is. So in-person parties are about 45 because we want to have about 15 there. Virtual parties, we're inviting about 150 because we want to have at least 35 join. Now, the next step is what becomes very important. It's following up with the host. And when we tell them to invite people, we're going to explain, like I said, I'm going to share my host coaching outline. But what I'll say is, I'm wicked excited for your party, blah, blah, blah. We talked about all that, right? And then I'm going to say, okay, to make sure that we have the most fun and we maximize your host rewards, we want to make sure we have at least 35 people in your party. That means inviting about 150 people. And you'll see, I'll tell them, invite 35 at a time, blah, blah, blah. What you have to do at the end is then ask them, do you have time today to start inviting people? We need to ask a question and ask them if they can take action on that step today. Because then when they say, yes, I can, they know that they told you they're going to be inviting people to their party. You've already established with them why they're having it and how you're going to help them get it for free. And they know that we're partners and we're going to work as a team. And when you say, okay, this is the first step, can you do this today? Most of the time they're going to say, yes, I totally can. Or they say, you know what, I can't do it tonight, but I'll do it tomorrow. And then you can follow up with them. So then the next day or 2 days later, congrats on the people you've invited so far. That's a great start. You're going to say that with every single host. Because chances are the first time they invited people, they don't have 35 joined in the next 24 hours. That's a great start. And you can go in and see how many people they invited. So if they invited 45, see, that's a great start. Do you have time today to go in and invite about 100 more people? Okay, you're going to ask them the question, do you have time today? And they're going to tell you yes or no. And honestly, I keep doing that until about day 2 of the party. Because the whole point is to make sure that they're having fun and they're being successful. And of course, there's other coaching that goes along with it, but it's so important to have a number of people there. And if it's an in-person party, it's the exact same thing. If they invited 10 people, that's a great start. Congrats on the people you have coming so far. Do you have time today to invite 10 or 15 more people? Okay. So how many of you feel like, have you ever felt like, well, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to be pushy? Has that ever crossed anybody's minds?
Yeah.
We all have animals and kids, Brandy. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's all good. So what I can tell you is there was a study that was done a couple of years ago, and this was across direct sales. It was not just Pampered Chef, but they reached out to hosts from all different parties, and the number one complaint was that they did not hear from their consultant enough. Number one complaint. Okay. They don't know what they're supposed to do. And they want us to help them. Because again, they didn't book a party for it to suck. They booked a party to have fun and to get free stuff. And so they are counting on us to help them out and to walk them through it. And again, it goes back to that initial conversation. Wicked excited for your party. We're going to have a blast. Tell me why you decided to have a party. Oh my God, you're going to love it. We're going to have a great time. And we're going to work as a team. I would love to help you get it for free or half price. How does that sound to you? That sets the stage for everything else. Okay. So with virtual parties, you're going to be talking to your host every day. For in-person parties, it's once a week leading up to the party. Now, I know the majority of people doing virtual, so very quickly, I'm just going to touch on the in-person parties. This is a very simple system, and it works extremely well. And the whole goal is to make this as mindless as possible, right? We don't need to be stressing about this. So for in-person parties, this is how you do it. Every Monday, you host coach all of the parties in that week. Tuesday, you host coach all of your parties in the following week. Wednesday, you host coach all of your parties 3 and 4 weeks out. Okay? Monday, every party that week. Tuesday, the party for the upcoming week. Wednesday, the parties for the upcoming 3 and 4 weeks out. That means you are talking to your host once every 6 days. It is a regular occurrence, and you don't have to think about it. What day is it? It's Tuesday. I'm host coaching people for next week. That's it. You need to have a system that is simple, that is duplicatable, so when you have people on your team, you can tell them this is how we do it, and it's going to work for you without having to think about it, okay? In-person parties. I know some people schedule them to start on different days of the week. I will tell you, I find it is exceedingly simple if every party starts on the same day, okay? Because again, you don't have to think about it. It's Monday. We're on day 1 with all of the parties, okay? Now, if you're just starting, you may not have more than one party going on at a time, so you're thinking, well, what the hell is the big deal? I just know where they're at. Well, the goal is that you're going to be doing 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 virtual parties in a week. And at that point, those systems need to be there, and it needs to be something that runs on autopilot. So set yourself up for that now, okay? So I choose to do pre-parties Saturday and Sunday. Those are the pre-party days. And then Monday through Thursday is when I'm actually doing the post about products and recipes, okay? It's up to you. Talk to your upline and figure out what works best for you. But the weekends are when Facebook has the highest traffic. So you absolutely want to make sure you're covering a weekend somewhere in your party, okay? And then you always know, well, I have parties, you know, I start my parties on Saturdays. I can start one on the 14th to the 21st, or I have an opening on the 14th. Does that work for you? Great, you sign them up. You want it to be simple and something that you don't have to think about, so you can focus on the thing that's important, which is working with your host and talking to them and getting them to invite people and working through that stuff with them. Because if we're constantly thinking about, oh my God, what day am I on? What did I talk to this host about? What did I talk to that host about? It's adding stress and it's wasting time and it's not doing anybody any good. So make sure all of your parties are starting on the same day. It's just going to make your life easier. The other benefit with that is when you are having 3, 4, 5, 6 parties at a time, and you will get there. If you haven't done it yet, you will get there, is then you can do a group host text or a group host message. And you'll see in the outline that I post, I am absolutely talking to each host one-on-one, absolutely. But for virtual parties, we know that we need our host to be participating, and we give them a post to post in their parties. You're all doing that, right? Do you give your host something to post? Okay. So instead of posting the same thing 5 times, you do one group host message, and then they know every day, and you'll see it in my outline, hey, rock stars, happy Tuesday. Here's your post and picture for the day. And what I always do, you'll see, is I'll say, give us a, and there'll be a blank when you've posted. And I do a different fun emoji each day. Nothing major, but it's just to be fun. It's just to get them to actually read it. Sometimes, like the last day is always like the martini glass, you know what I mean? But just something different each day. And what happens is, let's say you've got 4 hosts going, and Shayna posts the emoji that she did it, then Brandy's going to be like, crap, I need to post it. Then Brandy does it. And then Julie's going to be like, crap, they both did it. I didn't do it. And it's just this subconscious little competition that happens, and it really helps to build everybody posting what they're supposed to post, okay? And then each day I have an individual host posting message and the group one. And when you have a host that isn't responding, what do you all do? How do you, I know, Julie, you were just saying people are just saying K, 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 and you want to like reach through the screen and like break her face. So how do you handle that? What do you do when hosts are not really responding to you? What have you all done in the past?
Reach through the screen and hurdle. Just kidding.
Brandy, what have you done when you have a host that just
I just keep sending them different messages and seeing if eventually they'll answer me, or or I'll just post something in the party. You know,
how is that working? To be all Dr. Phil, how's that working for you?
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, it's a hit and miss.
So A
Can I-
suggestion, go ahead, what?
I'm sorry. I just want to share a little tidbit there.
Yeah.
With some of the things that one thing I can tell you I've done, and I do get a little response from it, is I take they kill them with kindness thing, okay? When you are like ready to hurt somebody, but you try to kill them with kindness. So I try to like, okay, maybe something is wrong. Okay, so maybe they're sick. So I'll say, hey, I'll send them a personal message to them, just them. And I'll say, hey, I hope everything's okay. That you didn't fall sick or anything like that. I have noticed that you haven't been really seeing my messages. I'm just checking in on you to make sure everything's okay. Let me know that all is okay. And then, gosh, I get a message back a few minutes later, and it has worked.
Yeah.
So I take that route, and I'm like, oh, I've just been so swamped at work, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, well, I get it. I understand. But we want to keep you on track to be able to get you some free products. So I'm super excited to be able to help you get that. Let me know how I can help you.
Yeah.
Okay, something of that nature.
Literally exactly what I was just going to say.
Okay, I took the words out of your mouth.
Yep. And the thing is too, you've probably heard this before. We are in a relationship business. We happen to sell kitchen tools. Have anybody heard that before? You haven't? Like, tattoo it on your arm, because that's the truth. We are in a relationship business. We happen to sell kitchen tools. There you go, Michelle or Nicole. If we forget for a second that we are dealing with other human beings, we are dead in the water. Okay? It is not about us. It is not about our commission. It is not about the trip. It is not about the free products that we want to get in free for all. It is not about us. It is always about them. How can we help the host? What can we do? What can I change? How can I be better? What can I do to make this a better experience for my host? When you approach your entire business with a servant mindset, it will go better. Because I guarantee you have all gotten messages or talked to people, and you just know, you're like, they are like a shark in water, and they do not care about me, and they only care about my money. You've all had that experience, right? We are not those people. We are here to help them. We are here to make sure that whatever we do adds value to them, adds value to their family's life, adds value to what they do. So if somebody is checked out, there's a reason. Be a person and ask them, hey, are you okay? Exactly what Nicole just said.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I noticed you haven't really been in the party the past couple of days. Are you okay? Did something come up? Because chances are something did. And they're feeling swamped at work. They're stressed with their kids, or somebody got sick, or there was an accident or something. And, they don't want to let us down or whatever. But when you're a human being to them, they're going to be a human being back. Okay? Because if something happened in your life and you haven't had a chance to respond to people, and they keep sending you message after message after message, people are going to tend to shut down and back off. So take a breath. Feel like, oh my God, something must have happened, because I know she was so excited about getting this quick cooker. She's been gone for 3 days. Like, she hasn't posted. Oh my God, Nicole, are you okay? Like, I noticed you haven't been around for a couple of days. Is everything okay? And they're going to answer you. 9 times out of 10, when you're a human being and you care about the other human being, they're going to respond. Okay? There is a saying that's been around for a long time. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You could be the best virtual party consultant around, but if you don't give a crap about your hosts, they do not care what you have to say. So make sure you're making that connection at the beginning. You are putting yourself in a servant mindset. You are finding out from them what they want and how you can help them. And you are starting together as a team. And then as you go through, if and when something comes up, they know, hey, you know what? This is Shayna, and I talked to her, and I can tell her what's going on because she actually cared about what was going on with me. And that is going to make every part of your business better, and it's going to make your hosts much happier. Okay? So I'm going to share my host coaching outline for virtual parties. We talked about a few different things. The first thing is at the beginning, whether you're in person or virtual. So excited for your party. Can't wait. We're going to have a blast. Tell me why you decided to have a party. Know why they want to have a party. Find out what product they're excited about. And ask them, hey, would you like to get that at half price or free? They're going to say yes. Say, great. Let's work as a team. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. How does that sound to you? Get them excited about it and get them agreeing to work as a team. Go in this with a servant heart. Know that we are there to help them because we don't have a business without them. They are not doing us a favor. They are not doing a party for us. We are doing it for them. Okay? And really having the confidence and the belief that you are the expert. Even if you don't feel like it, you are the expert. You have access to us. You have access to the training. You have access to all the tools you need to help your hosts get exactly what they want and to be like, oh my God, that was the best party ever. I'm doing a million more parties with Brandy. I had a blast. That's the goal. So what questions does everybody have?
Yay, nobody has any questions? Holy moly, we all know how to host coach to the T now. This is great.
Yeah. Is there any place that anyone's getting stuck that we didn't talk about?
We're all comfortable. This is wonderful. Yay.
Just trying to think and trying to think back. I know I'm finding that some of them are just having the party so that the previous host can get extra rewards.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating. And then they don't, or they'll have they'll tell their friends, well, go ahead and book, but you can back out. I've had them doing that. So it just gets frustrating trying to make sure that you're covering the bases with them and being able to help them out, but yet some of them are very just like they're not into it. They're doing it for ulterior motive type things.
Yep.
It's hard.
So, and that is going to happen sometimes, especially if you're a new consultant. They'll be like, oh, I'm going to do this to help you out. Very simple responses. Oh my God, that is so sweet of you. Thank you. But you know what? Honestly, this isn't about me. So I really appreciate you caring about me like that. But let me ask you, if I gave you $200, what would you pick out of the catalog? Get an answer out of them. And it's okay to push a little bit. Say, oh, I wouldn't pick anything. And you could be like, oh, come on. And have fun with them, like laugh and make a joke about it. But let's say I'm talking to Nicole and she's like, no, I'm just doing it for you. I'm like, oh, that's wicked sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But let me ask you, if I gave you $200, what would you get out of the catalog?
I just want a spatula.
Yeah. But if you say, oh, no, nothing, you can be like, girl, come on. Now, do not lie to me. You can pick anything you want for free. Tell me what you're going to get. Have some fun with them. Be real. And they'll be like, well, you know what? I actually would like this skillet. You say, great. I love that you're trying to help me out and I appreciate that. Let me return the favor. Let me help you get that for free. And you can help me because I get to practice teaching people how to have a party. So if these are people you know, if you're a new consultant, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I really appreciate it. Let me return the favor. Okay? Get them to name a product or two. And again, if you're a new consultant and these are people you know, you can say, you know what? It would be super helpful if I can practice my host coaching and pretend I don't know you so we can make sure this works really well. Can we do that? It all comes back to the buy-in at the beginning. Okay? And if you have somebody who's like, oh, you can book a party, but you can cancel afterwards. If you actually have seen that conversation go on, go ahead and ask them. Say, hey, you know what? I saw that. I'm just curious, what's going on? Are you afraid they're not going to have a good party, or you're afraid that they're going to feel obligated? Ask them. Again, be a person. Be there to help somebody. It's not always going to go perfectly. But when we have some of these things in place and we are always going at it with a servant mindset and we are always remembering that these are people and we want to make sure that if they were standing in a room with us, this is a great way to think about it. So I'll also say to my hosts too, let's say you're at a coffee shop with somebody and you're talking to somebody and they stop talking to you. Are you going to keep going, hey, 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 hey? No. You know, you're going to stop and be like, what's going on? Is everything okay? Kind of thing. Okay. So any other questions about stuff, any other places that you've gotten stuck that we haven't talked about? So when you think of something, and it's not an if, it's when, post it in the group. I'm going to share my host coaching outline. Feel free to take it, but one thing I'm going to tell you is make sure you tweak it so it sounds like you. Because Nicole and I, we speak differently. And if I post Nicole's post, people are going to know that it's not me, and vice versa. So absolutely use my host coaching outline, but make it sound like Shana, make it sound like Brandy. You're going to speak a little bit differently than I do. You keep the spirit of it, but tweak it so it's yours. And you'll see that what I have is I have the group message, and then I have the individual messages too. Use that as an outline. And if you're doing an in-person party, honestly, it's not very different. I know most of you are doing mostly virtual anyways, but it's really not that different. It's finding out why they're doing it, getting the buy-in, getting them excited, talking about a $1,000 party, focusing on the invitations, focusing on the number of people are there. It's all the same. It doesn't matter whether it's virtual or in person. And the ultimate thing to remember is that we are working for them. And we want to do the best job possible we can to make sure they have a blast, their friends have a blast, and they have a hell of a shopping spree afterwards. Sound good? Fake it till you make it. Okay? We've all heard that before, but it is the truth. Even if you don't feel like you're the expert, you are, because of all the training you've already had. Most of you have done parties already, and these are people who have no idea what they're doing. So you are the expert, and you have access to all of us and all of the training. So go in there with confidence, believe in yourself, know that you can help your host get what they want, because we know that every single one of you can do it. We believe in you, even if you don't yet. We believe in you, and we are here to help you every single step of the way. Okay? All right. Thank you all so much for taking the time. Be amazing. Love your hosts. Love on them. Work with them. Get them excited. And it is only going to help everybody else in the end. All right? Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye now.